And welcome back to Hannity. So we have more bad news for Hillary Clinton and her server scandal. According to the Washington Examiner, former House Oversight Committee Chairman Congressman Darrell Issa says that he thinks the FBI would like to indict Hillary Clinton and her top aide, Huma Abedin. And according to another report by The Hill, former FBI officials think charges related to the server scandal could be recommended against Clinton during the height of the general election campaign. Here now with reaction, Democratic pollster Doug Schoen and the author of Undemocratic. The expanded paperback version comes out on Tuesday from the American Center for Law and Justice, Jay Sekulow. Jay, you and I have been, you have your sources, I have my sources. I have been told now for a while the FBI investigation is near complete. They've had over 100 full-time agents. We have the Inspector General report last week that said dozens of emails at the SAP classification level. She is in deep legal trouble. Where does this go?
Well, I think very serious trouble. And, Sean, here's the stage we're at. I think right now the FBI what they're doing is they're putting together that case. So what the agents do, as they've conducted this thorough investigation, of course, the SAP information just escalates this to a whole different level because that's over and above top secret. That put human intelligence assets of ours vulnerable to being outed, basically, because of the lack of security that was on this server for Hillary Clinton. So here's what happens. The Department of Justice, FBI agents, are putting that case together. They've got the evidence. They lay out that evidence in a report. That report, and, you know, again, it could still be, I'm sure it's still in process, will recommend here are the various charges. And that is then taken and reviewed by James Comey. Yeah. So it's serious.
As Catherine Herridge reported earlier today, that some of these emails are too secretive to be released under any circumstances. I mean, if they can't release them even to the members of the intelligence committees because of the secret nature of this, probably meaning that people's lives are in jeopardy, and then we hear reports that it's likely, Bob Gates said it's likely the Russians tapped into this. To me, it seems that this is almost a slam dunk. She will have serious legal issues. Your reaction?
Well, Sean.
No doubt.
Sean, my question is, do you think the Obama Justice Department, Loretta Lynch, and the president himself are going to indict Hillary Clinton after what the president said earlier this week? He said it's not a national security risk. I agree. Jay and you were right. These are very serious legal issues. But do you think, both of you, that she will be charged with a crime as a result?
Here's the risk. If the FBI agents...
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, if the FBI agents, and they're doing a thorough job here, and they put together a recommendation that a grand jury be impaneled and that charges be brought, and the director of the FBI concurs in that and makes that recommendation to Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, and she blows it off or just decides we're not going there or gets an order from above from the president saying we're not going to do that, I think you could risk a very, very serious shakeup within the Department of Justice, where you could see career FBI agents and maybe even the director of the FBI resigning over this. And I'm not sure that the president wants that as his legacy. So, Doug, you raised the right point, which is the politics of it, but the politics cuts both ways if it gets to that point where there's a recommendation from James Comey to move and Loretta Lynch just doesn't do it.
And James Comey once threatened to resign over another issue involving John Ashcroft and Alberto Gonzales, if you remember at the time. It's not unprecedented. He seems to be a man of principle.
Yep.
I also think, frankly...
he is. I remember that very incident. Sean, that was very... You're right. James Comey is a man of principle. Threatened to resign over it, would not allow those warrantless wiretaps to continue under his watch while John Ashcroft was incapacitated because of surgery. And he's a serious guy. And I think the ramifications on this politically for Hillary Clinton and legally are at the highest stage right now they could possibly be at.
A quick point politically. If Hillary loses one of two or even two of two in Iowa and New Hampshire, her political position will be weakened, and that would, I think, strengthen the hand of the Justice Department in going forward.
What happens
should not
then
be a
politically,
factor, but you're probably absolutely right, Doug. But it should not be a factor in the administration of justice. But a good point.
I'm sorry, your question again, Sean?
What happens politically?
I think if she loses those two, we've got Joe Biden being teed up. He said he regrets every day he's not in this race. He might be in this race if what you and Jay are talking about comes to pass.
And that means that's nothing but chaos and corruption. Can they win in that environment?
Well, they have one great asset. They got the Republicans.
Yeah,
All right,
well,
nice
except
try.
the
Jay,
Republicans are going to have a normative process where there's going to be a nominee selected by the regular delegate process within the RNC. If you had a situation with Hillary Clinton getting indicted and the DNC has to move through special superdelegates or through amending its rules to put in Joe Biden, it's chaos on that side. But look, don't underestimate Joe Biden, though. And you know this, Sean, he's a good campaigner. You may not like his politics, we may not like his positions, but the guy can campaign. So who knows? But I think that it should not be the factor. The factor should be, was there a violation of the criminal law? If there was, the grand jury should be impaneled, an indictment should be issued.
And I'm skeptical, but I would say Biden plus Elizabeth Warren is a pretty darn strong ticket if something happens to Hillary.
I think it'll be the party of corruption, and everybody supported her, and it'll have a much bigger impact than you're suggesting, Doug, but we'll see that unfold
indeed.
before our very eyes. It's not going to be that long.
No,
Thank you
true.
both.
Thank
Coming
you.
up
Thanks,
next tonight, right here on Hannity.
She's escaped prosecution more times than El Chapo.
She put American intelligence officers at risk for her convenience. She put American strategy at risk for her convenience.
Hillary Clinton lied to the families of those 4 brave Americans who lost their life in Benghazi.
The Republican candidates, they went on the attack against Hillary Clinton during last night's debate. Dana Lash, Katie Pavlich are here with reaction. As we continue from Des Moines, Iowa, stay with us.